Hi, this is Neil Boland, and let's talk about content marketing. It is a term, I guess you could call it a buzzword, that's been thrown around a lot in the last few years, even to the point where some people are saying that SEO, search engine optimization, keyword-based marketing, is dead. It's not dead. Content marketing is another thing, okay? But content marketing in the last few years has become very important in the development of company brands and helping people develop a community around their business before they do any direct selling. So the first thing I've got to stress is content marketing is not directly selling your product or service. So what about a definition for this? Okay, well, let me Google that for you. Okay, first thing that comes up in the Google dictionary. A type of marketing that involves the creation and sharing of online material, such as videos, blogs, and social media posts, that does not explicitly promote a brand but is intended to stimulate interest in its products or services. Okay, that's a good definition, but it doesn't really mean much to the average small or medium or even large business if you don't know about this stuff as well. I would extend this by actually saying that it can be a long-term prospect, and it's a lot of investment for very little return in the short term, unless you're a company who is highly funded to make this stuff go quote-unquote viral. I hate that word, but it's a sort of thing where you have to develop a lot of content before you start seeing any sort of traction. Okay, so the first thing you're trying to do is actually develop pretty much a community around your brand who see you as an authority in the knowledge of the product or the service that you offer. They're not going there to be directly sold at, they're doing it to talk with each other in your forum or within your community as well. The other thing about content marketing is that it solves people's problems as well. Very common thing in YouTube and video marketing is solving people's problems. Instructional videos, even from an entertaining point of view, sometimes that actually helps people decide what to do about a certain thing as well. So, but mostly it is a problem solver, as is Google as a search engine. People are Googling search terms to find out how to actually solve something or find information on something as well. Okay, one of my favorite content marketing companies, now they're actually a hardware store chain in America called Lowe's. About 8 years ago, we were renovating this joint, and it's one thing I'll pretty much never do again. But there were certain things that we needed to know how to do to save money, so we didn't have to be hiring people all the time to do stuff for us. So I was Googling how to do certain things. For example, how to tile a bathroom wall. Now, about 8 years ago, there was no Australian company doing good content marketing around questions like that. So Lowe's kept coming up, not the clothing store from New South Wales with the rugby league players being silly on it. Lowe's, the hardware store. It's like Bunnings, but like probably 30 times as big. Okay, so for example, I went over and I Googled how to tile a bathroom wall. We didn't end up doing this in the end, by the way. It took someone much more professional than me, but I found some useful information. Okay, so what do you get when you Google it? The first thing you get is probably the most popular YouTube video that Google can find, probably because it's the most relevant and useful. Other questions that are related to this, a few more videos, but look, down here the Australian company have actually caught up. Bunnings in the last few years have done a lot of content marketing by doing instructional videos, and because they're a DIY chain. It's not, I mean, some trades do shop there, but most of their income is via home users of hardware. Okay, so that's really great. They're number one for how to tile a bathroom. They're doing the Lowe's game really well. Okay, let's just check out the video results page, because that's what I want to see and hear. I want to be shown by someone how to do this kind of thing. So I'm checking out the video results page, and look, Bunnings is number one. Now their YouTube video is number one, and it's feeding a little bit of juice to their website as well, and it's making their website number one as well. Okay, instructional video on there. It's developed trust in Bunnings because they're showing you how to do something without selling you anything. And at the end of the day, when you figure out how to do this thing, you need the tools for it. Who are you going to think of first? It's going to be Bunnings. I guarantee you that. Okay, so over here, here's where it all started for what I saw. About 8 years ago when I was doing I was going to do the bathroom wall. I did the other stuff. Okay, so we've got, I should say me and my partner did that, by the way. Okay, so how to prep a tile and shower. Prep and tile a shower. This is Lowe's. These are the videos that came up. And as you can see, they're very professional.
We want to replace this tub with a walk-in shower. The pink walls are going to go, and we want to replace them with this beautiful new tile.
The pink walls are going to go.
We'll show you how to do the prep. For the installation, check out how to install shower wall tile on lowes.com/how-to.
Yep, go to the other video.
Many choices when you work with wall tile.
Okay, so this is what happens here. They sell you the technique, but not the product. And eventually, you'll see Lowe's as the place to go to get the tools to get the job done. This is a really old concept, content marketing. It never used to be called this. To me, when I worked in real retail back in the day, I actually worked in a hardware store. It was a Mitre 10, so a smaller chain than what Bunnings is now, and it was a locally owned business, so it was very family orientated, and it was really just branded Mitre 10, but it was the local hardware store. And my bosses made sure that I learnt all about the products in the shop before I got down to the floor, even at the most fundamental level, because to them, helping the customer solve their problem was a guaranteed sale rather than saying, use this, off you go. Okay, don't just give them a paintbrush, you know. Some people will come in and say, I need to paint my house. I need to, it's weatherboard, and it's already got old peeling paint, blah, blah, blah. In a bigger chain, you might not get that help face-to-face quite so much because you'll have less skilled or less knowledgeable casual workers. But in a place like this, you've got someone who's being taught this kind of stuff. So before you even go to the shelf, you say, the paint that's coming off the building, is it oil-based? Okay, or is it water-based? Okay, cool. It's really old oil-based paint. Okay, you need to get that off first. If it's flaking, the new stuff's going to flake over the top of it. Kind of obvious, right? Some people don't know this kind of thing. The next thing would be what colour and what sort of conditions. You know, are you in a hot area? Is it in direct sunlight all day? You know, that could affect the choice of paint that you use. At the end of the conversation, this person's armed with what they're going to do to prepare the surface, what type of paint they're going to use for the conditions, how they're going to apply it, and what sort of weather they're going to apply it in so it doesn't go wet on a rainy day or on a humid day or anything like that, or dry too quickly while you're painting it. Okay, so they've been taught how to actually do the job. They're going to buy your stuff, and you turn around and say, look, here's the best type of brush, here's the best type of paint for these conditions as well. We can mix this in any colour you like, blah, 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 blah. You've got X amount of square metres you need to cover, so you need 3 tins. Away you go. That to me is actually content marketing. That is real sales to me. Just having a shop with no help in it and people left to their own devices to pull things off the shelf in a more specialised area is not going to get you anywhere. This is the same thing on the internet as well. Before you even ask for anybody's money, you are actually informing them and making yourself the authority in the knowledge and as a trustworthy source as well. So I won't harp on too much more about that, but I'm really passionate about it. So another thing, let's get away from hardware. Some people close to me might know that I'm a musician and a bit of a tragic for buying gear, and I'm a guitar player as well. So one of my favourite content marketers in that sector is Reverb.com. Now what Reverb.com is you've got eBay and you've got Amazon and you've got all these other directory type places where you can buy everything, including musical instruments. Reverb just does the musical instruments, and they launched themselves by compiling a lot of great musical instruments from sellers all around the world, vintage stuff that's really hard to find, or just nice things for a good price. And retailers will sign up with a Reverb account and from all around the world and list their products on Reverb for sale. Now they don't just sell. Reverb launched themselves. Now I will say they were very well funded to start with, okay? So if you're feeling like you're behind the 8 ball, that is completely okay financially for doing this sort of content. But they started with content marketing. They didn't mention how the products they had for sale for a long time before they really started to push the products, okay? Reverb is really good at content marketing. If you have a look here on their website, I'll go to their news page. If you follow them on social media, you'll get updates just about every day. New videos, interesting stuff about different musicians, you know, high-tech and handmade, Peter Gabriel shares his recording philosophy. What's that got to do with instruments? Well, it's got a little bit to do with it, but people want to learn more about what Peter Gabriel does than being, you know, sold hard on a piece of tech equipment, okay? That's more interesting. Okay, scroll through here. There's lessons. There's also buying tips as well. 5 precision basses, 5 points. What's the difference? Cool guitars under $500. NAMM. There's a trade show on in America, the biggest in the world for different instruments. Here's all the new releases. All that kind of stuff. Here's a really cool one. At the trade show, they found Carlos Santana, the guitar player. They interview him. Now, it's partially about his new model of guitar coming out, but it's also about his life philosophy, and it's also interesting stuff about him. It's more about him than it is the products, okay? So let's click on it, go through to here. There's a video you can watch, you can enjoy that. There's also, lo and behold, I've done being entertained. There is a link to the new Santana guitar, okay? They actually don't have any listed on Reverb just yet because it's brand new. Okay, but if there were any in stock by anyone in the world, it'd be right here. Okay, so again, via content marketing, they've informed and entertained their audience, and they've spent a lot of money and a good amount of time doing this as well. So that is how they've developed their trust, and they are the biggest online musical instrument source in the world. Even though they don't have a warehouse and directly sell stuff themselves, they have other people set up their accounts, and your local music store will have a Reverb account, for example. Okay, they own the market in this area. No question about it at all, and I look at it all day. Okay, so that is content marketing. That is developing a community, developing trust, developing yourself as a source of knowledge. Anything you can do that is not direct selling to build your brand in a calculated and very informative way. If you've got any more questions about this, you can go to www.gumbo.online, and I'll see you there.